Hey everybody, welcome to Tales from the Tavern. My name is Dominic, and I'm here with my good friend, Chad Quandt.
Hello, good friend Dominic. I am very excited to be here.
Yeah, this is fun, man. We're good friends, right?
Yeah, we were good friends. I can confirm we just had Mexican food together.
It was okay.
No, it was not great, but I mean, we had Mexican food and we kind of stared at each other's eyes for like a good 2 hours, I'd feel like.
Yeah, and only friends do
Only
that.
friends can do it. If here's a true test, look at all your friends in the eyes.
See if they can look back.
And they don't look back, they're either a ghost or not a good friend.
Or a monster.
Or both, or all.
Is a ghost a monster? No, they're separate.
No.
So
These are questions we're going to answer in this podcast.
Well, that's what this is all about, isn't this? This is Tales from the Tavern. Every week on Tales from the Tavern, you will hear tales of fantasy, of excitement, of swords, sorcery, all types of fun stuff. And every week we're going to have a guest. This week's guest is Chad Quandt. He's going to read me a story. I'm going to read him a story. And every week our stories are based off of writing prompts. This week's prompts are Rat Men and Forgotten Cities.
the two foundations.
The foundations
of fantasy. George R.R. Martin, when he walks into his writer's room, there's a few key things on his wall. One is a picture of a rat man.
Oh, a full-on rat man.
A full-on rat man. One's a picture of just a forgotten city, which is just like a city with a question mark over it. And another one is just a sexy dragon.
Because who hasn't wondered what a nude, sexy dragon would look like?
Not covered enough. No one talks about that yet. The next season of Game of Thrones is going to be sexy dragons.
Oh, I know it is. Mm-hmm. And you guys can find out what that looks like in one Google search.
Kids, check with your parents before Googling sexy dragons.
Make sure safe search is on. Mm-hmm. But we are in your world right now. We are in your tavern. What is this tavern called, John?
Well, you've traveled the long, distant road to the land of Ragnok.
Oh, Ragnok.
To one of my favorite taverns. It's a pretty big, terrible bar. Like, no one here likes it, but the booze is cheap.
The booze is cheap?
Booze is cheap. The people are somewhat nice. They won't mug you on the way back to your horse.
Would you say that the people are cheap?
I'd say they're wealthy in spirit.
Okay.
I'd say they're wealthy in spirit, but also very, very poor.
They're drunk.
They're drunk. You're all drunk! I'm yelling at them right now. This bar is called the Devil's Bunghole.
The Devil's Bunghole in Ragnok.
In Ragnok. It's, as much as it sounds like, it's also a pretty well-rounded world.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to take you to, just to show the real pulse of the people. The way I might live in, the worst part of Los Angeles right now, because I can feel the pulse of the people.
Gotcha.
You can use that mystery puzzle to figure out where I live if you want to stalk me. But the same way of taking to this bar. So as we tell our yarns, you can really get a feel for the people who live here.
Hey, Chad, I can't wait to hear your story from Ragnok.
I am happy to tell you. Also, you may want to watch your pockets. By the way, there's a lot of people drifting by us.
Oh,
so just heads up. Up.
All right. Okay. So you brought me to a pretty bad place. Mm-hmm. I don't know why, but I'm gonna find out.
You're gonna find out. Can I tell you one more detail about Ragnok? It's something you should probably be aware of.
Okay. Yeah.
Ragnok, pretty standard world, except for every 30 so hours, a sun rotates around the land. It's a very close-up sun. Scorching ball of earth.
Oh, wow.
Just roast parts of the land down.
Yeah. I feel like you kind of wouldn't recover from that.
No, it's very hard. It's a very hard land.
Is it a tiny sun?
It's a tiny but close-up sun. Okay. So it's like you could probably hit it with an arrow. It makes sense. The problem is, we still operate on a 24-hour daily schedule, so it's really hard to keep track of when ball of scorched earth comes by. It's very often you're like, oh, hey, Timmy, hey, Mom, I'm home from school. What's going on? He's like, oh, son, I tell you this, your dad was caught up in traffic, got scorched by the ball of burning hot sun. Gosh. It's a tough world, but it makes hard, strong people.
Why did you take us here? You took everyone. Everyone is in the Devil's Bunghole right now.
But the winter season, the winter season.
Is it magical?
Oh, it's magical.
I'm sticking around.
So good, so worth it.
Well, what do you say we get right into it? Let's get right into it.
Yes, please. Dom, would you like to take the honor and tell the first story?
That sounds Wonderful. Let us travel to the land of Oxfire.
Oh, I'm teleported away right now. I can just feel my body just leaving me.
Oh, it's gone.
Wait, was that supposed to happen, or was that bad?
No, that's that. A ghost is touching you.
Okay, I'm scared.
All right, Chad. My tale is called First Blood.
Oh, no one's ever thought of that title before.
Yeah, this is a good... You'll see why.
I hope.
You'll see why.
Oh, I have a lot of ideas of what it could possibly mean. I can't wait.
It was almost bedtime in the town called Quest, and every wizard and warrior was getting ready for a good night's rest. All but the folks over at the Flickering Flame, a tavern where a young adventurer sat alone at a table. A human of medium height, brown hair, green eyes. He was dressed in a plain red shirt with light brown slacks and a pair of worn boots that read, Dad's Boots, in coal. The young man sharpened his sword as he sat, pretending to know what he was doing. You see, this was the first time he was on an adventure, and he wasn't really sure what you were supposed to do at a tavern. He knew that adventurers had to go to taverns. They always did in his book of heroic tales and Mad Libs. They'd stop at the tavern, be prompted with adventure, and have a farty time.
So it's just like a Mad magazine for adventurers.
Yeah, it's like... Because they live in a fantasy land, like, things are already so crazy. So, like, tales about fantasy... They gotta get a little creative involvement,
sure.
Spice it up a little bit for the kids. He pulled his sharpening stone down the edge of his blade once more, setting sparks flying right into the face of a dwarf who was about to sip his beer. "Oh, what the frick!" shouted the dwarf as the spark landed right into his eye. "Ah, shit, right in my eye! What are you sharpening that blade in here for?" "I'm sorry," the young man shouted. "I'm an adventurer. That doesn't mean you get to sharpen your swords anywhere you like, you bag of farty farts." Said the dwarf, calming down after letting out some great curse words.
That's the worstest insult of all.
"An adventurer?" asked the old man behind the bar. "Ah, I've been waiting for one to come along." The bartender gestured the young man to come over, then reached beneath the bar and lifted with both hands a heavy book. He dropped it on the table with a loud thud. The young man inspected the cover, black with gold text that read, "Questing right into tomorrow. A quest book for quest merchants."
It's very clear what the book is about, except not at all.
"You see," this is going to be explained here,
okay.
said the bartender. "We put all the things that the town needed to get done into this big book. Build a dam, kill a demon that stole some fruit, things of that nature. Then, whenever an adventurer like yourself comes in, we offer a mild reward in trade for the deed. 'Cause, this kind of work is more for the exposure. I mean, experience." The bartender opened the book. "Now, before we start, what class are you?" "Well, I don't really have the money to study magic," admitted the young man, "so I think I have to be a warrior for now." "Ah, a fine class," said the bartender. He flipped through to the warrior section. Almost everything was crossed off. "Most things that need killing, anyone can kill. So those kind of quests are kind of sparse at the moment."
Sure, makes sense.
The young man let out a quiet sigh of relief. He knew he wanted to be an adventurer, but taking another thing's life? Whoa, man. Maybe he'd kill an evil animal. But not on his first quest. The bartender finally placed his finger on a quest that did not involve killing. "The Lost City of Arachni," the bartender read. "It says here that this underground city was once home to a civilization of underground people. You probably haven't heard of them." "It also says that they owe the town of Quest $13, and the entire city conveniently went missing just as Quest sent an adventurer to claim the debt. The book is a little accusatory, but I think this place is really lost. Do you have any experience in finding lost cities?" asked the bartender. "Now, I told you this is my first time on an adventure. I grew up on a farm," said the young man. "What is your name?" "Chris with a K." "Chris? That isn't a hero's name. How about Old farmy. What? I only grew up on a farm and I'm not even old, contested Chris. On behalf of the town of Quest, I ask you, Old farmy, to find the lost city of Ragnok. The bartender gave the ceremonial thumbs up and closed the book.
This bartender's really guiding him through most of the things he needs to do. This guy's like...
he knows he's a new kid on the block, you know?
I'm just saying, if not to spoil your story, if this turns out to be God, if this bartender is God, I'm okay with it.
Chad, let's find out.
Oh my God.
The book also said something about a dungeon being to the west, added the bartender. I'm sorry, but it said I had to be vague. It's a paying your dues kind of thing. You'll get more information the more you quest.
This sounds like a religion where you get brought in the more and more you put into it.
Or does it also sound like work or maybe other things in your life?
God,
maybe
this
this is the way the life is.
You are blowing my mind right now. I'm going to quit my job tomorrow.
Chris hopped aboard his steed by the name of Terry and rode west to the dungeon.
What a nice name.
Yeah, I figured, you got to have a trustful horse.
Oh my God, Terry, I want to pet you.
In just a few hours, he spotted a small door carved into the side of a mountain. Chris left Terry, scaled his way up to the entrance, and pushed on the door with all his weight. It opened slowly.
Wait, is Terry okay? Now that you've named the horse, I care about him.
No, yeah, Terry's fine.
Okay, good.
Yeah, he
Sorry,
got tied
okay.
to a rock.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure.
The dungeon was completely dark. Drops of water echoed through the hall. Chris lit a torch, then drew his sword as he carefully walked through the dungeon. A frayed red carpet lay in the center of the main hall, and a skeleton laid right next to Chris's foot.
Wow!
Chris was scared. Then he remembered. This is an adventure. Let yourself have some fun. Chris inspected the bones and figured it was an orc skeleton, easily identifiable by the size and teeth. Beside it was a bag, and inside it, Chris found a scroll. He undid the bindings and read, Dear Scronal, I can't believe it's my first day of adventuring. I'm going to do my best to make my... Ow! A snake bit me! Oh no, I can feel its venom taking effect. I must adventure through this dungeon before it's too late. Can't wait to eat lunch today.
Oh,
Talk soon.
He never got to have lunch.
Talk soon.
Oh,
Drick.
I have never felt more for a man named Drick ever in my life.
Chris lowered. I mean, that's a pretty sad tale.
Oh my God, pulling at my heartstrings.
Chris lowered the scroll in shock as a voice spoke. Ode Thami, I've heard about you. Out of the shadows slithered the very same snake.
Whoa.
I'm back for seconds.
Can you wait? Can I hear more things he says with S words?
That's all the scroll says.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe he'll come back.
Okay.
Said the snake as it slithered closer. Chris quickly sliced at it, lobbing its head clean off.
Go, Chris.
Its reign of terror was over.
Wait. Was this just like a normal garden snake?
Yeah, it was just a regular snake.
A regular snake, okay.
Well, a venomous that could kill you.
Yeah. Okay, I just want to make sure it's not like a giant snake. Just like a
No.
regular snake. Okay.
I killed an evil animal, said the young adventurer in disbelief as he looked at the blood dripping from his blade. Chris was a man now. There was no going back.
Oh, this is the first blood.
That's the first blood part.
Oh, my God. Title's coming to hit me hard.
Chris examined the backside of the scroll to find a map made by Drick. Wow, his map-making skills were awesome. Man, what an adventurer. I wonder what kind of crazy stories that guy would have gotten up to. Rest in peace, Drick.
You got the name wrong.
R.I.P. Drick.
R.I.P. Drick.
The dead orc had almost completely explored the dungeon. The rooms were labeled. There was the dining room, the master bedroom, the knife fighting room, the room of red barrels that explode,
Whoa.
the crazy sex room, and then in parentheticals, suspension cables and crazy stuff.
Oh.
There was only one unexplored room that was circled with a note that read, "Come back and check after lunch."
Oh.
Man, that's sad.
God, he really wanted that lunch.
With Drick's map in hand, Chris carefully made his way through the dungeon. He crossed over a room of free-flowing lava.
Wow, that's a cool room feature, gotta say.
And dashed through another room of free association exercises that statues were shouting at each other from just across the room. Just a whole room of statues.
Just
warming up forever.
Man, that improv class they're going to take is going to be real good.
When they have their show, when they have their class show.
Oh, they're going to be so good.
Chris finally reached the unmarked room and pressed against the door with all his weight once more. The door pushed in and then slid to the right conveniently, revealing a massive cavern. A beam of moonlight shooting through the cavern's broken ceiling silhouetted the lost city of Arachni.
Oh, wait. Can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah.
Was that the snake's house?
Yeah, you can think of that. I mean, it's a part of the house that maybe he didn't get to go into too many times.
Just the house itself. I was wondering if it was like the snake just lived there.
Oh.
I don't want to spoil the story. I hope. Please continue. I hope that's the snake's house.
It's not.
Okay. So I just want to know.
Chris marveled at its beauty before saying, "Forgotten City? Looks like somebody forgot to clean this place."
Oh my God, he's gotten the one-liners.
"Whoa, hey," said a voice from behind. Chris turned around, half slicing the air with his sword. Some feet away, a rat man sat upon a large stone. "This is Franktown," said the rat man, examining the young warrior with his yellow eyes. "I'm the mayor. Just one guy. Me, Frank. Franktown." "I've come to find the lost city of Arachni, and it looks like I found it," said the warrior proudly. "All right, no one's finding this place, okay?" said the rat man as he hopped off the stone. "I enjoy the peace and quiet, and I'll be damned if anybody remembers this old forgotten tune."
Watch out, Chris.
Chris knew one thing about rat men. They loved games of wit.
Whoa.
"How about we play a game of wit?" said Chris. "Riddle off," said Frank.
Wait, how big is this city? I can't tell if it's a giant city with one guy or he's just sitting on a rock and that's called the Lost City of
Okay,
Arachni.
maybe I didn't...
No, I missed the detail, but I want to know how big the city is.
The city is huge. They're in a cavern. There's steps leading down.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
They're not at the city just yet. They are just chilling outside it. Frank, he's the mayor. He's kind of...
Okay, I just want to make sure it wasn't...
playing gatekeeper here, too.
Yeah,
You know, he's
gatekeeper,
one guy.
mayor, probably also count... I'm a little worried about this riddle off. I think Chris is in over his head.
Whoever can come up with the answers to the most riddles first wins.
Wait, that's a riddle off?
Frank began to list them off. Shoes, a butt, two snakes fighting, jorts, chocolate milk.
Oh my God, this is insane.
Hey, whoa, hey, whoa. Hey, I don't want to have a riddle off, said Chris, waving his hands to stop. I'm sorry, I just don't really like riddles. Whoa. Did you just insult the national pastime of Franktown? The rat man was getting heated. Chris took a nervous step back when crunch. The warrior lifted his boot and examined the beetle he just crushed.
Oh no!
"You just killed my secretary of bugs," said Frank, more serious than ever. I'm sorry," began Chris, but Frank continued. "You aren't going anywhere, warrior." He took another step toward Chris. "We're about to have our first murder trial in Franktown. That's right. Crime has been at a 0% since I've been in charge of this place. And you want to take that away from me?"
I do feel bad about that bug, though.
"Well, to have a trial, I think you need more people," said Chris nervously as he stepped toward the door. "Oh, so you think I've been living in Franktown by myself this whole time? Look around you, boy." Chris looked around the cave. The walls were crawling with insects, centipedes, earwigs, roly-polies. A cricket shook its fist at Chris. That secretary of bugs was that cricket's wife. "Get 'em, bugs!"
This is terrified.
Yelled Frank as the insects leapt off the wall and toward Chris. The bugs pinched Chris a bunch, and it was painful. Some of them punched him right in the face.
Oh.
The warrior brushed away at them, but was overwhelmed and decided to retreat. No one said anything about fighting bugs and ratmen. All Chris was supposed to do was find the forgotten city of Arachni, and he had done that.
This is true. This would qualify with the quest, I think.
The young adventurer had had enough. He quickly ran out of the dungeon, down the mountain, and was on his horse heading back to Quest with almost all of the bugs off of him. He rode up to the flickering flame, tied Terry to a post, and went in. "I found the forgotten city of Arachni," yelled the warrior, almost out of breath. But at the bar was not the bartender Chris had spoken to before. No.
Oh, no.
There was a slightly less older bartender there.
What?
Still old, but slightly less.
What are you talking about?
Said the bartender.
What?
"The lost city of Arachni," said the warrior. "I was sent from here to find it, and I have. Where's the other bartender?
There is no other bartender.
The old man replied, and he went back to wiping down the bar.
What?
A dwarf with an eye patch gave Chris a hard look. I know you, the dwarf shouted. You're the young man who shot a spark into my eye and caused me to go blind. Why? That was 15 years.
No! Whoa!
What? Somehow, inside the lost city of Ragnok, 15 years had gone by. Was the cavern magical? Was the city magical? Was Frank magical? No! Okay, said Chris, as he realized, as long as he didn't lose 15 years of his life, that it was honestly not that big of a deal for this to happen. He ordered a beer and sat down. The end.
What? He had no attachments to anyone else in the world.
Nah, man, he just needed his dad's boots.
He had his dad's boots, his plighting and a family. He moved on.
Well, there's not much you can do at that point. I mean, you could lose your mind to the twist.
Mm-hmm. No, I did.
Or you could just kind of go about your ways. And if it doesn't really affect you too much, then it's not so bad.
Yeah, you're right. If you're not really attached to a lot of people, I guess good points for you. Keep going to that cave, and eventually there'll be cars and stuff in the world.
Yeah, why not just stop back and have another riddle off?
Have another riddle off of Frank. Just stall for a little bit. Oh my God, I loved that so much. Wait, what happened? Do we know what happened to Frank? Frank's last thing was saw him leaving the cave.
I would imagine that Frank remained mayor of Franktown.
I bet so. Yeah, they had a little funeral for the bug.
Oh my God, it was sad. It must have been sad.
Oh my God, I love that twist. Dom, if I may say so. I feel like Goosebuds is rubbing off on you a little bit. I feel like our Goosebumps podcast is...
I think maybe read a couple twists. Maybe a twist on a twist in a recent...
I feel like a little R.L. Stein DNA worked its way into you. I loved that so much.
Thank you.
That was a great story.
Thank you.
I loved it. Wait, okay. Now I can't wait to tell you mine. This little story is called Subterranean Encounters of the Heart.
Subterranean Encounters of the Heart.
I feel like I combined 380 songs into that one.
Into it.
Mm-hmm. Let me take you down. In the land of Ragnok, the earth's crust runs deep. Follow down with me, listeners, below the surface. Below the underground lair of the secret resistance group, the Get Up Kids, who are plotting to assassinate the country's king, who is also their own dad.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a pretty dramatic story I'm not going to tell you about today.
Was that the band, the Get Up Kids?
It just happened to be named.
They happened to be named.
Yeah, they're trying to assassinate their dad king.
Makes sense. They're kind of Get Up on the old folks.
Yeah. Another story. Not the story for today, though.
No.
Even further below that, the home of two subterranean Morlocks who are having a scary movie date. And boy, oh boy, was Hollow Man not a good choice to put on. Really not a good date movie. Below all that, there is a vast open cavern. In the endless darkness, there's a faint light. A torch held by a woman decked out in gear, pouches, and various accoutrements. Her name is Dari Skulknik, human adventurer. As she scans the blackness around her, one of her companions, a similarly dressed man, wraps his arms tenderly around her waist. It was her adventure companion and husband, Jack. I think this is it, Dari. This will finally be the time we find the lost city of Latvian. Damn it, Jack! Give me some space, please! Just get off my ass, okay? Screamed Dari, sending her mean words echoing around the cave walls. Somewhere farther down the cave, a mole mother heard the shouting and held her babies tight. Don't worry, my babies. No meanness is going to get past your mole mama's hearty fur tonight, she said in mole speak. You see, listeners, Jack and Dari were having trouble with their relationship. And making a marriage work is the biggest adventure of all. Dari and her husband Jack were a rather unique pair for Ragnok. Obsessed with the past, they explored tombs, abandoned caves, and sometimes just broke into people's houses when they were asleep and took stuff. Though that may actually be stealing.
Yeah, no, that's bad.
Anthropology is kind of vague.
The love... it's got to obey the law.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll take it up later. Take it up later with them. They're kind of vague about it. I swear to the gods I should have just left you at base camp to milk the cow horses for food, muttered Dari as she rubbed her eyes in frustration. Well, excuse me if I just get real emotional and stuff when I'm down here all up in the guts of the world, said Jack, as he looked over at two nearby dead human skeletons who were holding each other all tender, the blades that had killed them still plunged in the rib cages. Ooh. Someday we're going to have a love like that, he thought. A meek voice peeped.
Does that mean that they will die together?
He doesn't really know. He just wants to be loved like that, even though I think it's like a metaphor that even he doesn't understand that's a destructive love. If you want to get real deep into it.
Tainted love.
Tainted love. Good song.
Gotcha.
A meek voice peeped up behind them. Please, milady and man guy, let us continue on in quiet. The scrolls speak of vague evils down here. Tales even say an explorer got curb stomped real bad once.
Whoa.
It was Dari and Jack's hired guide, Limburger. Before beginning their expedition up on the surface, the couple had found themselves approached by the strange guide who offered his services. While it was unusual that he chose to do so by sneaking into the rooms while they were asleep and silently waiting for them to wake up, the couple had encountered weirder humans in their travels than the skittish cloaked man helping them, and figured he was pretty solid. Come along, Limburger. You said you could help, and it's time you prove you're worth the loaf of bread we paid you, ordered Dari. I wonder if we should get a dog, Jack pondered absently, making a bad decision that so many other failing couples have done before them. Or better yet, we could get 2 dogs and have them get dog married. Oh, boy, listeners, for a top adventurer, Jack was really going down a long path to Misery Town on this one.
He was going on an adventure with some highs and some real lows.
Some real lows. Limburger took the torch and led them through the cavern. May I just say how thankful Limburger is for the opportunity for you kind people have given me. Do you think maybe when this is all over I could come live with you? What? No. Wait, what? No, remarked Dari. Okay, that is good. I can sleep in your closet if you want. Thank you, said Limburger. I mean, we'll talk about it later, okay? Responded Jack, filling a pipe with some really cool herb he had taken from an orc tribe 2 weeks earlier.
Nice.
Sure.
I have to ask.
Yes.
Lindbergh is a tiny human, or is he some kind of creature?
No, he's a cloaked man.
He's a cloaked man.
Yeah, he's like every Indiana Jones story is always kind of like the pack servant who just like keep an eye on the horses and that sort of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Just
a regular guy who wants to be a little close.
To be a little overly close. They've only known him for like a couple days.
Yeah.
It's a little forward for him to pitch such a thing.
It's a little forward to say those things to anyone.
Yeah, even really if you've known them for a while, it's a little forward. Just heads up in case anyone's curious if they should ask anyone that. Sure, the orcs worshipped that rare plant that he was smoking as a god, but Jack really needed to unwind sometimes, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, wherever you gotta get it. Jack, as soon as we find the lost city of Latvian and become the most famous explorers in Ragnok, we bail on Weird Dude, okay? Asked Dari. Jack never got a chance to respond. Though if he had, he would have said he actually thought having a weird servant dude moving in with him would be fun, or at least spice things up in the bedroom. But again, he didn't get to speak, because a giant spear came flying out of the darkness right through Jack's fucking chest.
Whoa!
Mm-hmm. Jack, no! Screamed Dari. She ran over to grab her spouse, breaking the end of the spear off in her hand, which is either a good thing to do or a bad thing to do. Movies are unclear about this. They do that a lot, and they make a big point about it.
And like, should you remove it?
Yeah, they're like, no, break off the arrow in his chest. Like, I don't know, it seems like that's a good thing to do.
I've seen some of the guys live that way.
Yeah, I know. Movies are very unclear about it. They should do some more research. Dari, I need to tell you, I hate how we arranged the couch in the living room. Jack trailed off and was gone. His soul left his body, but in like a funny way, because this is a comedy podcast, and sometimes Chad has trouble breaking out of the darkness. It is his soul.
No, this can be a real podcast sometimes.
This can be a real podcast.
We can go to some real places.
We're going to some real places right now. We need to run, miss! Limburger pulled at the shocked Dari as whoops and hollers filled the chamber. An unmistakable sound came at them. Lol, 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 lol. Sliding down the walls from the darkness came evil terrors, long and slender, skin oily and glistening. They seemed to have scrawled tribal symbols and words over their bodies with black marker. They wore tattered clothes with vague pop culture references on them. Juvenile delinquents, uttered Dari as she ducked a thrown spear. The teenage ghouls descended down, gnashing their gross teeth. Hey, you mad though? Lol, 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 lol. They yelled out loud to everyone and no one. They're the worst. These are the worst.
No.
They yelled out loud to everyone and no one at once, as if they just needed to be heard. Your dad's poorer than my dad, the monster youth yelled out. Oh, they're just saying the worst things. Storming towards Dari and a terrified Limburger. One leaped, yelling, "Oh man, I just want to hump the world despite knowing nothing about love or life." Bang! The nearest juvenile's head found itself removed from its body by a round of buckshot. Dari's gun was still smoking as she began to reload. Hey bro, you can't do that. I'm gonna put this on YouTube. Blam! Another adolescent abomination taken out by Dari. These are some weird monsters, by the way.
They're talking about some weird stuff.
These are some weird things. They don't know what YouTube is in Ragnok, so it's a weird mystical thing you're saying.
It's a weird dimensional... That's how awful it is. That's how hateable these characters are.
I think YouTube is an elder god in Ragnok.
Oh, okay.
It's not a video streaming service.
Oh, okay.
It's like an all-seeing eye god.
Okay.
But it's kind of a metaphor for what we're going through in society today.
It kind of is. YouTube's always listening.
Yeah, exactly. Blam! Another adolescent abomination taken out by Dari. That one was for a guy I was probably going to break up with after 2 to 3 years of awkward complacency, our adventurer yelled. Now, Limburger, through the opening! The two scrambled over the slain monsters as the others chased after. Dari shot one last look back at Jack's body. 4 of the beasts were already teabagging him repeatedly. A terrible way to go.
They are awful.
It's awful.
Okay that they're dying.
These are the worst monsters. The echoing la-la-la-la-la's of juveniles followed Dari and Limburger as they scrambled over the ravine. Dari started falling before she realized what was happening. Where there was one step was suddenly just empty darkness. They fell for what seemed forever. Dari awoke to wetness. Water running past her eyes. She opened her eyes to find it was thankfully only Limburger using a nearby stream to wet in his cloak and soak her head. Miss Dari, you're awake. Look, we're here. It wasn't until now that the massive structure behind Limburger came into Dari's focus. There, a mere 1,000 horse lengths away, was Latvan. It is true, muttered Dari. A giant towering cityplex hidden here beneath the surface. It was beautiful and quiet. The city of Latvan stretched as far as the eye could see. The two made their way inside the front gates. Scholars say the city was a cultural mecca, home to fascinating machines, bountiful food, and unparalleled scholars in every field. They apparently had a pretty sweet tide pool as well, which is something I always hear people talking about but never get to try, explained Dari. On a nearby wall, she brushed aside some cobwebs to find a free frozen slushy machine that allows you to mix and match flavors, and no one at the checkout is judging you for sampling.
Whoa!
It was still running. Truly, this was a magical place. In fact, most of the city seemed to be clean and functioning as if it was brand new. But where are all the humans, miss? Asked Limburger. He decided to have a half-frozen Coke, half-cherry slushy, if you're curious.
Oh, I'm into that.
Just want to know how he rolls. That's what he does, half and half. Just then, the lights in one of the nearby houses sprung on, and a large man in smelly robes burst out. Well, hey, I saw you two tumble down the cliff. Looks like you bumped your heads. Who are you? Asked Dari. Well, I'm Bartholomew Philip Johnson. Pleasure to meet you. He gave the pair one of those sweaty handshakes that really make you worry where the moisture came from. Is this Latvan, or did we die back there and you're God? Dari worried. God, no, unless I'm the god of friend hugs, laughed Bartholomew Philip Johnson, bringing them in for one of those trademark squeezes. This is Latvan. Yep, wonderful place. Hey, would you like a free live forever cookie? He handed them both a chocolate chip biscuit. Dari took a bite, and besides the fact that it cured her body instantly of all diseases and aging, that was a pretty solid bread disc regardless. Limburger slipped the cookie into his robes. Dari beamed. Who knew how many wonders this place had? But where is everyone, she asked. Bartholomew shrugged. I'm the only one left. Everyone moved out or left over the years, swearing a vow to never tell anyone of the city. Somehow I became the only one. Don't know why. Hey, since I thankfully finally have someone to talk to again, let me tell you about a weird dream I had last night. Oh no, said Dari. She immediately knew what we all knew. People who retell their dreams don't realize it's not interesting or relatable to anyone else. Bartholomew insisted. No, it's a good one. So basically I was in this giant shopping mall area and I just could not find my wallet. But I think I wanted to buy a refrigerator device or something. I can't really remember. But then I think there were zombies. Limburger, I'm going to grab some trinkets, get out quickly, and then go home and mourn Jack for a few days. Want to come with me? I'll pay you more bread, Dyla offered. Limburger began to shake uncontrollably and toss his hood back, reaching up and removing his own face.
What?
Where his mouth and eyes should be was instead tiny mechanized chairs and levers. His robes fell off, revealing they ran all the way through his body. No way, Dari asked. You are... Yes, we are a dozen small, intelligent mice controlling a human steampunk mech suit. We came from a distant land seeking a new home for our people. Everywhere we went, people persecuted and tried to step on us. But we knew if Latvan was real and have all the room and food a colony of smart mice would need. We used you and your dead husband to find our way here. Sorries.
They're space mice.
No, they're like inventor mice. They're not from space.
I thought they were from space.
It's like a Wild West Spider-Beck, but as a human.
They're inventor mice.
They're inventor mice, hyper intelligent inventor mice.
Wonderful.
Who, yes, named Limburger. Type of cheese. In case you get that subtle, in case you get that subtle hint.
All right, you know.
I was dropping the clues in there.
It was always
dropping the clues in there. Wanted to live with you. Wanted to stay in your house. Maybe sleep in your closet. All mice things. Oh my God, Damon Lindelof and blowing out your mind. Okay, the lead mice took a nibble of the immortality biscuit cookie. Now they were all immortal, which is a pretty big get for mice.
Yeah, I would say so.
Pretty good feather to have in your cap. Bartholomew man, would you be fine with us living with you? We will live in your walls and eat your dropped foods, and do not mind hearing of your dream stories, as all mice do not care for as long as... Oh, Jesus, is that a hawk over there? Never mind, we're fine. Sure, mouse dudes, come on in. Let me tell you about this crazy dream I had last week about fighting Freddy Krueger. The mice mech turned to Dari. Thank you, adventure woman. I am sorry for the loss of your husband, but you were nice enough and had many warm cupboards in which to sleep under. I'm sure you'll find another. You know what, Dari said? I think I already did. With sudden clarity, she took the mech suit's hand, and a few tiny mouse paws reached out to take hers. It was the purest love she had ever known. She dropped her explorer's bag there on the ground and wandered into paradise with her new love.
With her
robot mice friend. They would love hard. They would love forever. They would hear stories of dreams and make up their own dreams into reality. The end.
That was wonderful.
Thank you.
She found true love.
She found true love in a mouse man.
Loves.
Yeah, I mean, I think at least a few of the mice love her.
Some of them maybe not that into her, but still friendly to hang out with.
Yeah. And now they get to live forever with Philip Bartholomew Johnson.
Well, that sounds wonderful. Who is Philip Bartholomew Johnson? What is this significance? Just a guy?
Just the last guy living in the city, which you also told a story about one guy in the city. I mean, there was bugs in yours.
There was bugs.
But as soon as you mentioned the Frank ride, I was like, man, we both went to the place of just one guy.
Just a guy, man.
Just one guy.
I'm just hanging out here.
I want to say, I tell people, by the way, a little footnote in the story. I tell people about dreams all the time. It's a great thing to do.
It's fun, yeah.
But I also know, anytime you tell someone else about a dream, I can just see their eyes just kind of drifting off.
Unless the person is interested in hearing about your dream specifically due to the connotations, or they just like dreams. Other than that, they'll just drift off.
No, I think Philip is just a little bit of an overbearing guy, nice dude, and everyone just left town.
You know what? I got some more questions about Ragnok. We'll ask them. We'll ask them shortly. Mm-hmm. Let's take a break. So, Chad, Ragnok. Where does that take place? What year?
In the year of Ragnok?
Well, I guess there are some parallels to Earth.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I think if you want to get into Ragnok, it might be a future reboot world.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, another, it's not our Earth for sure, but things have gone and passed. Like, let's say Mad Max world. Another 1,000 years.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some vestiges of humanity. I mean yes, I think other worlds might have invented slushies.
Okay.
I'm not saying we're the only ones to ever come up with such a beautiful idea of sugar and syrup and ice blended into a cup. But I think there's some hints that Earth's humanity was still there.
It's still there, just in shreds.
Still there in shreds, yeah.
I gotta say, any place with mice that are that smart, pretty fun time. Yeah,
you haven't really got to cover the different intelligence levels of some of the animals. I'm gonna go out on a limb and tell you about a few animals. How their intelligence levels. Monkeys about the same as smart as they are on Earth.
Okay.
They did not get stronger or weaker.
I'm glad their strength has not changed.
No, not at all. Oh God, they'd be terrified. They're just still, but just even stronger. Mice, you already understand, very hyper intelligent. There's dogs got real dumb.
No,
I know, right? But they're still lovable.
Well, yeah, because they're so
we just love them so much. That's so surprisingly, alligators terrifyingly smart.
Oh no,
alligators are like one of the most dominant species.
Do alligators drop out of trees and attack people in the forest?
That's what most you realize alligators evolved to the next state of we shouldn't just be in swamps, we should be everywhere.
Oh wow.
You might just be out for a nice evening run. Do you know about it? An alligator just laying in your path.
Oh, is it gonna be like alligator crocodile mile? Is it going to be like crocodile
Is Crocodile
where-
Mile a Florida shopping mall?
No, that's the ride. It's like a slip and slide.
Oh,
that has a
yeah,
crocodile.
totally. Yeah. No, that's
Where
actually...
you're just walking and then you turn a corner and you're in a crocodile's mouth.
I'll be honest. A lot of people have died in slip and slides to crocodiles in Ragnok. Like they're like, oh my god, slip and slide. They don't look at the end of the slip and slide.
It's a crocodile.
There's a real crocodile down there.
It's not Crocodile Mile.
No, it's a real crocodile.
So crocodiles and alligators both evolved though.
Yeah. I mean, they're not getting along. Obviously, they've really.
Is there a war?
It's like Palestine and Israel, but
Oh
for
my
crocodiles
God.
and alligators.
Can you make it go even further to where they're like crocodile people and alligator people, and they're still fighting, and they're kind of like orcs and stuff?
Oh, Dom, I'm already there, buddy.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, no, these are slightly more humanoid. Think of like Dragonborn from D&D, I believe.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
I love it.
Oh,
but you
yeah.
know, that's the thing I want to say here, man. It's Tales of Fantasy. You're gonna get all types of Tales of Fantasy.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry, your first taste was hyper intelligent mice world,
Hey, man.
but it's a place.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Thank you
know,
very much.
I'm a little bit more of the old school kind of way. Guys named Terry and Frank, you know.
Yeah, the good old stalwarts of fantasy.
Yeah, Terry. Yeah.
You know, I thought about naming the horse. I thought about naming the horse cows,
Oh yeah.
and it might just be my memory going. I honestly thought about Terry. I don't know if that's just a good horse name.
I think we're good. Friends.
I don't want. Yeah, I think maybe just good for. I seriously, it's gonna sound like I just made it up. But I was like, it'd be funny if I named the horses. But if I'm gonna name the horse, I gotta get really into them. But that was floating around there.
Well, hey, I gotta say, I
Mm-hmm.
had a great time in Ragnok.
Oh, thank you for coming by.
And I'm real stoked you went with technology and guns and stuff. That's fantasy to me.
Oh yeah, I mean magic steampunk, my favorite genres.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so fun.
Dude with a gun saying he's a wizard hunter or something.
Yeah, it's so great.
Dope.
You just got to find the right level of it. You don't want to go full on where it's just like everything is just mechs all the time. Too many mechs. You got to be sparse with your mechs.
Yeah, wait.
You got to sprinkle it in like garlic. You got to like put that in occasionally.
One mech per 12 mices.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. No, I mean, if you're going to get a full mice crew, 15 is great.
15's good.
They could use the extra mice
For
working the extra,
cleaning.
for cleaning, working the extra fingers you need to, the most complex functions. But otherwise, a 12 mice crew can do pretty good.
Well, it sounds like they found true love.
Oh, they found true love. They're gonna have a sweet, sweet love together. Dom, I want to know a little bit more about the book that you mentioned as well.
I have to actually look up.
No, it's a great title. I believe it was the quest. The quest stall. You know what it sounds.
Question right into tomorrow. A quest book for quest merchants.
You know what it sounds like? It sounds like if there was TV in your world, it'd be that guy with all the question marks all over his suit.
Oh yeah.
And he tells you how to like get free money from the government.
Oh yeah.
That would be a type of book he would sell in this universe.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's already got the question marks.
Oh, I got the question marks all over it.
You know, I thought it was a real good organized way to go about giving out quests and rewarding them as a town.
No,
together.
I'm more impressed that someone can be able to chronicle all of that, and also how regularly do the editions come out?
Pretty, yearly. It's like an almanac. You know?
Okay, so I totally understand. So that means, like, let's say it's the beginning of the year, and I missed the new edition, and I have like an orc in my backyard that's really bothering me. I didn't want to put a quest out. I gotta wait till the new edition comes out.
You got to go quest board. Right?
Go to quest. Okay, all right.
Go to the quest board.
Okay, there's other ways to get it out there.
You can, you can. Folks can put up their mild issues up on the quest board.
Okay, makes sense.
Quest.
Okay.
And like, say your neighbor was pissing you off, you want to murder.
Yeah, I mean, can you just put on a hit if needed be? I mean, I was saying an orc, but it's just a neighbor as well.
What must be done?
Must be done. If
If
it's
it's
in the
a quest,
book.
man, you got a reward. We can make something happen.
So the quest board is basically DeepNet. It's the Silk Road of the internet.
The Silk Road of Orkspire. I think so. The Silk Road of Fantasy
The Silk Road.
is the quest board. Chad, thanks once again for coming onto the show for the first episode of Tales from the Tavern.
Oh, dude, it's an honor.
You got to be back.
Oh, I would love to be back.
We got to
I would
hear
love
more
be back.
Tales from Ragnok.
Dude, it is an honor to be here. Guys, I hope you don't mind Ragnok. I don't want to get a lot of flack from any of you guys. If you guys send me messages about I prefer my pure fantasy. Guys, mech stuff's pretty cool.
I'm into it.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. It's been a blast.
Well, thank you for being on, and thank you all for listening to the first episode of Tales from the Tavern. We'll be back soon. We'll have a new guest, but Chad, you'll be back real soon as well.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to go off into the wilderness and think about more great stories of Ragnok, but I'll take a little time off to give some other great writers to come onto the show.
Okay, yeah. You think of other ways of adventure in life that are as thrilling as a relationship.
I will. I'm going to go experience some more other things in life real quick. I'm going to go like maybe marry a woman so I understand more about what that's like.
And then come back with the next story.
And then I'm going to tell her, baby, I got to end this. This was all for just a podcast.
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry. And
I'm taking both dogs.
I'm taking both dogs. They were married. You can't split them up.
I'm sorry. That's just the way it works.
This is just the way it works. I'm so sorry.
Thanks again. Thanks to everyone for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thank you to Ian Bennett for creating the Tales from the Tavern theme. You can check out his website at ianbennettmusic.com. Thank you to Toursland for creating all of the interstitial and end music for the show. You can check out more of his work at soundcloud.com/Toursland. That's TORZELAN. Toursland. And once again, thank you to Chad for coming on and being on the first episode. We do a podcast together called Goosebuds, where we, you guessed it, review Goosebumps books. Check it out. It's on iTunes. Goosebuds.